Hello guys, my name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine to keep you updated on real-life situation in my country. And if you support Ukraine and you want to witness Ukrainian victory together with me, please subscribe to this channel. And this is going to be a quick update, or better say reaction, on the news that I've read, and that is about the meeting of Prigozhin, the head of the COUP and Wagner group, and Supreme or Kremlin gobbling Putin. I know that you like angry Anna regime, and this will be like a mixture of angry and surprised Anna. And sometimes I feel like people not just need a vlogger from Ukraine, English-speaking vlogger from Ukraine, but they also need a translator from orc consciousness into normal consciousness, and that's what I'm going to be right now. I'm not that good in orc consciousness, but unfortunately I live in a neighboring country that suffers a lot from Russia for the last 300 years, so we are aware of various symptoms that they demonstrate. And this is a very serious symptom that many of you living in normal countries, and congratulations on that, may not notice. And I want to attract your attention to this because once again, that will help you understand that Russia, modern day Russia, is a lost state that has to be totally reconstructed. Well, we have Prigozhin, who is the head of Wagner group. That is illegal in Russia because according to Russian legislation, they don't have private armies. But this is a leader of a private army, a friend of the president, who is sent to Ukraine when regular Russian army meets problems there. And Blitzkrieg fails, same as B, C, D and other plans of Russian orcs here. So, the Russian president sends the leader of the illegal Wagner group to perform state tasks, special military operation in Ukraine. After months of not that successful operations here and inability even to get Bakhmut fully the way they wanted, Prigozhin starts recording videos saying he is totally dissatisfied with regular orc army. That is spread by media channels because Prigozhin, apart from being the leader of the illegal army, is also an oligarch, and in Russia oligarchs have a tradition, they all must have a TV channel, or better say a couple of TV channels. And at a certain moment in time, when Russia decides to legitimize these private armies, not because it wants to make something legal, but because it feels they have troubles with mobilization and continuation of this war and they need more control, Prigozhin gets angry, he does not want this, and begins his march on Moscow. From his messages, it is impossible to understand what exactly he is dissatisfied with. Like, Ukrainians are watching it all with popcorn, not because we like Prigozhin or we are worried about Putin, but because we wait to see two monsters eat each other. This is very typical in the monster world, and somehow I believe it will happen one day. So this monster Prigozhin is marching to Moscow. On his way, he gets a couple of Russian cities, militarily. So war takes place in Russia. Lots of hashtags appear, civil war in Russia. Anyway, it looks like that. Not because I'm an excited Ukrainian, but because there are facts. For example, Prigozhin shot 3 military regular Russian helicopters, and more than 40 people, Russian soldiers of regular army, are killed. So this is a serious coup. It's not about demonstration. It's not about some fightings in the yard. It is serious. One military group starts shooting weapons, equipment, and people of regular Russian army. Helicopters shot, people killed, all over the news, Prigozhin, Putin, coup, and so on. Putin is nervous. He needs to address public. When he addresses this public, he speaks about a knife stabbed in his back. He also says that a criminal case is opened against Prigozhin because of his betrayal. A couple of hours later, Lukashenko, who is definitely not negotiating this conflict because he's totally dependent on Putin and come on. So Lukashenko says he stopped Prigozhin. We don't know what actually stopped Prigozhin, but Prigozhin is in Belarus for a couple of days. And Putin says because of Prigozhin's heroism, I decided to stop criminal case against him. Can you imagine something similar in your country? Like 3 helicopters, military helicopters of your army destroyed, 40 of your soldiers killed, a couple of regional centers were taken over by your friend oligarch. Everything is illegal. And then you say, I have decided to forgive them. Or what? Is it possible? This once again demonstrates that there is no law in Russia, and not just like traditional law, but even criminal law, any kind of law, even the law that was popular in cave period when people were still living in caves. They obeyed some rules, but rules in Russia do not exist. And today they say that possibly Putin met with Prigozhin, and perhaps he met with Prigozhin to demonstrate people around him that he still controls everything. Why did he meet him? What did they speak about? How will they finish is interesting. But what is more interesting, that all the world observes it and treats it as a normal political conflict or situation. No. Can you imagine like a person hitting someone on a car and then your mayor saying like, I have decided to forgive him, he's a good doctor? That's absurd. But that is a very vivid demonstration that Russia is very far away from any rules, from any regulations, from any norms. Then the answer is clear. We cannot negotiate with them, it goes without saying, but we cannot expect they will follow any rules, or we can predict them, or we can somehow coexist with them. That is why the only true victory is the collapse of Putin regime and serious reconstruction of Russia. Please forgive this comment, but I felt like I need to express it. And thank you so much for buying me coffees. Perhaps I had too much coffee, that's why I'm so energetic. Thank you for becoming my patrons. Introduce yourself to our merch. Subscribe to me on Twitter and Threads and Instagram. I try to share different kinds of content there. And Slava Ukraini!